Joined right in time. Well, tonight on Cruise Week TV, we talk to a very special guest, Kathy, better known as Cruising Cat. She's an avid cruiser, and about a year ago, she started a Facebook group with a difference. We also have our photo of the week, as always, and the latest news in the world of cruising. And our producer, Bird, is once again getting ready for his trip on Oasis of the Seas. So we're going to have more information on that and your questions answered. So get ready to hit the ocean with us because this is Cruise Week TV Live. Welcome to the show. I'm Joe, and I cover cruising from a new person's perspective because, well, I'm still relatively new to the world of cruising, especially compared to the experts we bring onto the show to answer mine and your questions. So, for those of you just joining us, welcome to the show. And this is an interactive show, so if you guys have questions, we are monitoring YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. So feel free to post your questions in the chat or comments area, and we'll do our best to get them answered for you during the show. Cruising Cat, as she's known to many, started a Facebook group. But before that, she started to use a program called Periscope. You may have heard of Periscope, as it is owned by Twitter, to live stream and broadcast snippets of her vacation live from the very ships that she was sailing on. Now, this has grown in popularity, and now there are over 2,100 active members who showcase their vacations on the ships, and they show people around via this live medium. And of course, we had to have Cruising Cat on the show to tell us more about this. But first, let's dive into the latest in the world of cruising and check out cruise news. So, what was supposed to be a romantic wedding anniversary cruise to Alaska ended in a murder investigation. A Utah man was discovered with his dead wife in their blood-splattered cabin aboard an Alaska cruise ship Tuesday night and told an acquaintance that he killed her because she wouldn't stop laughing at him. And the FBI revealed in a criminal complaint on Thursday that Kenneth I'm going to try to not murder this name, Manzanares, age 39, was charged with murder in the death of his wife. An acquaintance came into the cabin and found Manzanares' hands and clothes, as well as on the walls of the cabin covered in blood. The FBI said that she would not stop laughing at me, is what Manzanares allegedly told the acquaintance. It was unclear what caused the woman's death, but she was discovered with a severe head wound. Her body was found on the cabin floor, covered in blood, and the couple was aboard the Emerald Princess cruise ship when the man and his wife started fighting at about 9 p.m. The ship was in the middle of a 7-day Alaskan cruise that left on Sunday from Seattle. Passengers said they heard screams through the hallway, and then the captain's voice on the ship's intercom requesting all medical, security, and other personnel to the ship's Deck 9 and Deck 14. People were running through the hall with blood all over them, trying to get security. Passenger Brian Ekstrom said he saw a man walking through the hallway with his jeans soaked in blood and muttering, "It's not good, it's not good." Witnesses told authorities they saw Manzanares grab his wife's body and drag her to the balcony before bystanders had stopped him. Manzanares then allegedly tried jumping off the ship before officers had restrained him. FBI agents swarmed the ship when it docked in Juneau on Wednesday morning. Passengers were kept on board for hours before the ship departed again late that night for the southeast Alaskan town of Skagway. Princess Cruises said in a statement that passengers would receive $150 of onboard credit due to the disruptions. With over 20 million people going on cruises every year, things like this are extremely rare, and I think it's very important to note that. So, Carnival Cruise Line celebrated its partnership with the Port of Mobile and the Greater Mobile community today by hosting a Sousapalooza event for kids attending the YMCA of South Alabama summer camp program. The event aboard the Carnival Fantasy, which is home-ported year-round in Mobile, was highlighted by a green eggs and ham brunch with the Cat in the Hat and friends, a Sousapalooza story time and parade, and other Seuss-inspired activities that are featured on Carnival cruises. During the event, Carnival made a $20,000 donation to the YMCA of South Alabama, reinforcing the cruise line's commitment to supporting its home port communities. You know, I always like it when companies give back to their communities. I'm glad to send it on a very happy note. So, Why use a travel agent over booking booking directly with the cruise line? Well, personal service for one, and cash credit back is another reason. So, whatever cruise that you're planning on going on, be sure to give Good Memories Travel a call. You get the same great rates as you would booking yourself, plus, you may get an onboard credit or a customer reward. Yes, they actually give you money to go cruise with. They enjoy planning and helping you with weddings and honeymoons. Good Memories Travel also specializes in handling every aspect of your group cruise, family getaway, or that family reunion that you've been wanting to plan. Imagine letting someone else do the work while you get to relax. Good Memories Travel also plans various Christian related group cruises. The God is Good group cruise is coming up, so be sure to check that out on their website. They handle, of course, cruises for all cruise lines like Carnival, Royal, MSC, Norwegian, and many, many more all over the world. They're fully licensed by the CLIA, which stands for Cruise Lines International Association, and they have also been earmarked by Disney. Debbie Smith is part of Cruise Planners, so be sure to give her a call to see what they can do for you. It doesn't cost you a thing to look them up and get your best rate. Call Debbie for a free no obligation quote on your next cruise. What have you got to lose? Debbie can be reached by phone at 321-338-2953, and of course through their website at goodmemoriestravel.com. And let them know that you heard about them right here on Cruise Week TV. So, Cruising Cat brought her love of cruising and shared it with thousands through the online app Periscope, and she has since set up a Facebook group and encouraged others to do the same through her growing online community. So, Kat, welcome to the show, and tell us what on earth gave you the idea to put aside part of your hard-earned relaxation time to broadcast from the ship. I thought we were the only ones that were crazy enough to do that.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Kat. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
So yeah, I actually, I'm going on my 10th cruise in February, and I just discovered Periscope actually last year. I was going on a cruise on Royal Caribbean's Allure of the Seas, and I don't even remember now how or who told me about Periscope, but there just happened to be a periscoper that was on Allure of the Seas. So his name is, Andrew 1720. And it was like love at first sight with Periscope because it's interactive. You can ask questions, and he did a really great job showing different parts of the ship and where things are, and he's really great at answering questions. So basically, when I went on Allure of the Seas in May of 2016, because I watched Periscope in the live streaming video, I had some insider tips, and I kind of knew where things were before I even set foot on the ship. So it was just, I was like, wow, this is really cool.
That's pretty awesome, Kathy. And I'm glad that you started live streaming that because, as I understand it, you just reached 2,100 members in your RC Periscopers group on Facebook, and that is quite a milestone to reach in a year. You must have been excited when you saw that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, not all of our Periscopers that are part of our group live stream, from their cruises. A lot of them are watchers. A lot of them are Periscope watchers, which I'm happy to have, both. I have people that live stream from the group, and then I also have people that just like to watch the Periscopes. Well, it definitely benefits both, whether you're a Periscope broadcaster or a Periscope watcher.
I would definitely agree with you. It does have quite a benefit for both because I know a lot of people that are also like first-time cruisers and know they like to keep up with the RC Periscopers group as well. So now, your first cruise, when did you first take your very first cruise, and how long was the difference between you taking your first cruise and starting your group, or your RC Periscopers?
Oh, it was a super long time. My first cruise was in September of 2006. I went on Enchantment of the Seas. And Enchantment had gone through a refurbishment in May of 2005, which anybody that knows about Royal Caribbean knows that they added an extra section into Enchantment of the Seas, making it a little bit longer. They added some cabins and some pools and, just one of their refurbishments. So I got to go on the ship after it was refurbished. I didn't really know about, live streaming at that time. And literally, I just kind of got interested into it last year, unbelievably. Because before that time, I didn't buy any Wi-Fi packages on my cruises. It was a time to unplug. But it's changed obviously now.
Right, definitely. If you're live streaming from cruises, yeah, you definitely need that Wi-Fi. And thank goodness it's a really good. They have really good Wi-Fi in Royal Caribbean ships. So we have
For
some.
most of the ships.
Yeah, most of the ships. That's true. They do. So now we have some questions coming in from Facebook. First one comes in from Stephen Gardoni. He wants to know, what is the best cruise for a big group?
I mean, it all depends on, what you're looking for in your cruise. I would, it all depends on where, everybody's located. I would recommend the Oasis class ships because there's just something for everybody to do. We've got Oasis of the Seas that's out of Port Canaveral. And then we have got Harmony of the Seas that is out of Port Everglades. And I think at some point, the Allure of the Seas is going to be moving to Miami. I think that's when Symphony of the Seas comes out. Symphony of the Seas will be at Port Everglades, and it's in the process of being built presently. But then there's also, there's Liberty of the Seas out of Galveston, Texas. It's a great ship. There's Freedom of the Seas. It's out of Miami. There's, it all depends on what you want to do, with your cruise and, what demographic you have going on, whether it's younger or older, and what everybody likes to do.
Well, no, you've definitely got a large group cruise coming up at some point. You've got your RC Periscopers group cruise coming up soon.
I do. Actually, it's with myself and my co-admin, Ken Jarvis, who is actually traveling from India at this present moment. That's why he couldn't make it tonight. But we have got a cruise on Enchantment of the Seas on February the 2nd, 2018. And we have, the last I checked, I think we have about 45 to 50 cabins booked. So we had a group cruise last year, but it wasn't an RC Periscopers group cruise. So it was like a Super Bowl group cruise. But we figured we combine the two this year, the Super Bowl cruise and the RC Periscopers group cruise, because there was already a vested interest.
So now we have another question coming in from Facebook. This one comes from Melissa Colby. She wants to know, Kat, what is your favorite cruise ship that you've ever been on?
Oh, wow. I think it would have to be Allure of the Seas right now. But my first love, of course, is Enchantment of the Seas because it was my first ever cruise ship. I haven't been on it since 2006. But I think right now it would have to be Allure because there's the Oasis class just offers so much variety. And I love the idea of, there being something for everybody, whether it be a room in Central Park and seeing the boardwalk, seeing the live entertainment. The aqua shows are phenomenal. So there's just kind of something for everybody. And, it's got 7 different neighborhoods. So there's, you could never get bored. And it's actually, for a 7-day cruise, it's hard to do everything and see everything.
Yeah, that is true as well. I know that's always been the case on the cruises that I've been on. It's always a difficult to see everything that we wanted to see. Well, a question came in from Periscope. This one comes from, looks like Alex Kaufman. He asks, what is the most interesting cruise that you've been on?
That would have to be my cruise last year on the Super Bowl cruise. It was on Majesty of the Seas. And I got to cruise with a lot of fellow RC Periscopers. And, interesting and fun because you get to see the different personalities. You talk to, the thing with my group is, we all have the same passion for cruising. And what live streaming has done has been able to take it away from the computer and bring it to real life. And you see these people every day on Periscope, and we go to each other's Periscopes, but actually cruising with them in person and being able to hang out with them, is just totally epic. So I think that would have to go down as, my most favorite and interesting cruise, because just seeing all the different personalities, and they're all wonderful.
I have to definitely agree with you. Actually, like knowing someone in person is quite different. It's like even just not like tonight, because this is the first time I've ever actually gotten the chance to talk to you, even though I felt like I've known you beforehand. Because it's like because I've been following like Facebook and like I've been following like on your RC Periscopers group on Facebook and on your Facebook and but now actually getting the chance to talk to you is very very exciting. So I definitely understand where you're coming
I feel
from
the
on
same.
there. So we got another question in from Charisse Colley. She wants to know: do you plan your cruise around itineraries, ships, cost, or how do you plan your cruises?
Basically, I plan on, the itinerary and also the ship. In my opinion, I've mostly cruised with Royal Caribbean, and that's kind of, I've cruised other cruise lines. I've taken a couple Carnival and a Princess, but I'm trying to kind of make my way up the Crown and Anchor ladder.
Oh, yeah.
I actually just made my first jump to Platinum, because you start out as a gold member, then you go to Platinum, and then Emerald, and then Diamond, and Diamond Plus. But I think moving forward with cruises, I'm also looking at the ship as a whole as far as what I want to have during my cruise. So not only am I looking at the itinerary, I'm looking at what the ship offers. So, and then of course, with me wanting to live stream from the cruise ships, not all Royal Caribbean ships have the best boom. On the bigger ships, which is the Oasis class ships and the Quantum ships, and some of the smaller ships sometimes will have good boom as well. But I'm also looking at that as well, because I'm wanting to share my experience with, with my members and with my cruising friends, so I'm kind of looking all of the above.
So you mentioned Voom. What is what do you mean by the best Voom? What does that mean?
Okay, so Voom is what they call the Wi-Fi on Royal Caribbean ships. And I think it's commonly referred to as OB3 Voom. It's their level of internet as far as their connection on the ships. And they used to have two Voom packages. They had like the streaming, and then they had the surf and stream, to where you could, if you were live streaming video, you would definitely want to get the surf and stream. But now they just have one package, which is the surf and stream for everybody, and it kind of makes it easier. I basically last week I told my Periscopers I understand that Periscope is not going to always work on all of our Royal Caribbean ships with the Voom, because some of the ships have weaker connection issues with the Voom. So, as a plan B, they can actually go into our group, our Royal Caribbean Periscopers group, and do Facebook Live and live stream to all of our members that are in that group. So it's kind of a plan B. And it's a good plan, because I would much rather, if Periscope is not going to work on a certain ship, I would much rather one of my members do a Facebook Live within the group, so that way they can still share their experiences, because we have the tagline, which my co-admin came up with, and it's the only place to see it live is rcperiscopers.live. So that still, comes into play with, the Facebook Live, because it's live streaming in our group.
So can you stream to both at the same time, or is it just kind of like a one at a time thing?
Well, I think if you have two devices, you should be able to. It might be a lot of work. But, I know some people do live streaming with their iPads and GoPros. You can do live streaming with a GoPro. I've seen Periscope underwater scopes. One of our Periscopers, and she actually she runs a blog, HaleyWithAFlare.com. She did a Periscope from underneath the water on one of her cruises, which was really awesome to see. So there's several different smart devices that you can use to live stream video.
Awesome, and I'm familiar with Haley. I think I've had her on the show before. She was we interviewed her after she got back from Cuba one week, so that was a good interview. I was happy with that one too.
Yeah, Cuba was awesome.
Yeah, she was really cool. So now, do you ever feel like when you go on a cruise that you're like not playing enough and working all the like because you're constantly like there's well maybe not constantly but you're live streaming snippets of your vacation all the time. Do you ever get like a little bit of overwhelmed?
Well, I mean, it's the way I look at it, and this is what I've always explained to my members that want to live stream video from their cruises. There is no standard for how much you have to periscope, how much you have to live stream video. It's your vacation. So basically, you scope as much as you want or as little as you want, you know, and I try to find a happy medium between doing the things on the cruise, but also sharing my cruise experience. I don't do it so much where it's taking away from the experience of being on the cruise with my family, but I also enjoy sharing, what I'm seeing and being able to help other cruisers that might have questions if they're going on that ship. So, I mean, it's basically as much or as little as you want to do.
So now, do you plan your live streams out, or do you turn the camera on when you see something exciting worth videotaping?
I'm just kind of fly by the seat of my pants kind of a person. I kind of have an idea when I go on a cruise, different things that I want to show, whether it be a lot of the periscopes, a lot of people do cabin tours. So that's a popular thing because people like to see what the different types of cabins look like, whether it's an interior or a balcony. On the Oasis class ships, they have a balcony in Central Park. They have a balcony on Boardwalk. They have an ocean balcony. And then some members have be lucky to stay in the suites. So those are always very awesome to see. I know my co-admin, Mr. Ken Jarvis, he likes to travel cruise-wise with his suites, and I always look forward to his periscopes because I know, just to see what kind of cabin he's staying in, this week, and it's just really interesting to see the cabin scopes. But my other rule is I don't scope during dinner. That is just one of my things. I think it takes away from family time. So that is one of my rules, that I will never ever scope during dinner.
So now you mentioned like having a suite on a cruise ship. Have you ever had suites, or like have you planned on having them?
I have not stayed in a suite yet, but on the Enchantment of the Seas cruise on February the 2nd, I am going big. I am staying in a grand suite on Enchantment of the Seas, and I am so excited. So I kind of it's a 3-day cruise. So, I get a little taste of the suite life, which I know, if I have to choose between staying in a suite and not cruising as much, and then just staying in a balcony I try not to do interior because I'm kind of claustrophobic. If I, do something, it'll be like an ocean view or a balcony. So from this point forward, I would much rather cruise more, but if I have the opportunity to stay in a suite, if I get a good deal, I'm definitely going to go for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if this is the first time you've ever been in a suite, there's that's got to be really exciting for you. Is it going to be a decent time amount of? Is it going to be like 7 days, 5 days?
It's just a 3-day cruise, unfortunately. So it's kind of like we get there. It's for my, the Royal Caribbean Periscopers group cruise during Super Bowl weekend. And it's a 3-day going out of Miami to Coco Cay and Nassau, Bahamas. So just enough to kind of enjoy it, but not as long as I would like. I would love to have, be able to stay in a suite for like a 5-day, but, maybe 1 day.
So Melissa Colby actually, Melissa Colby messaged us as well. She says she looked at your lighthouse collection back there. She says it looks like you really
Oh,
like lighthouses.
I do. I'm all about the ocean. I'm all about the ocean.
That's awesome. So now, when you go on your cruise coming up, can you stay with your? Are you staying with your fellow admin in that cabin, or are you staying?
No, my husband's coming on it.
Okay,
He's got Ken has the Royal Suite on Enchantment of the Seas, so it's like the top of the top. I think that's what it's called. I don't know if it's called the Owner's Suite. I think it's called the Royal Suite. But you know, he'll probably have us over for you know, embarkation, sail away. He's got the top of the top suite, which is the way he likes to travel, and so I'll kind of get a little taste of the suite life with my grand suite.
nice. So Anthony on YouTube sent in a question for you. He wants to know how long are you going, or how long should a stream be to be effective?
Okay, that's a very good question, because that is a question that I get asked a lot. The thing with the live stream videos is people's attention spans are not that great. So when you're live streaming, you want to make sure that you're not focused on one thing for like 15-20 minutes. You kind of want to walk around. I wouldn't say that, you know, live stream should probably be at max 15-20 minutes. I mean, unless you're doing like a live streaming show, but from the cruise ship, you need to probably keep it about 15-20 minutes and make sure to show, you know, if you're doing like a sunset live streaming video, which is very popular. People love to see the sunsets and the sunrises from the cruise ships, because there's just something magical about seeing the sunset, you know, down by the ocean. But once, you know, once that's done, and if you still want to periscope, you want to kind of maybe turn around and show the pool deck. So you want to kind of, the thing is to keep the watchers focus, because people have very short attention spans. So, you know, just keep it interesting.
That's actually what I've learned from being in videography as well, is to change the shot every few seconds, just to keep things moving, keep things a little bit interesting. Because people, like you said, it's when people are watching videos, they do have they can get short attention spans. So
Very much
so now
so.
we had somebody from Periscope asking about the equipment that you use. What kind of equipment do you use when you're on the ships?
Right now I have an iPhone 6 Plus. I have not upgraded to the iPhone 7 yet. For my microphone, I use the Rode microphone with a wind adapter. There's a slang term that we have labeled the wind adapter. We call it the hamster, because it looks like a dead hamster when you put it on. It helps on cruises when you are live streaming on top of deck, because, you know, the one thing you hate to have is your voice canceled out when you're trying to talk and the wind is going.
Does it look anything like this?
It does. It does.
I happen to have a dead hamster microphone on me, I guess. Or well, Bird came in and Bird. Gosh, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Bird came in and grabbed the hamster.
Dead rat. There we go.
And handed it off to me so I could. I can't believe I just said that. But it's what happened.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what it looks like, and that's a really great thing to have when you are periscoping from a cruise, because, you know, you have to battle the elements sometimes when you're trying to live stream video. And, you know, on Freedom of the Seas, you can go on the helicopter pad, which is an awesome place to be for sail away. But the one thing about being up there is you get full force wind. And if you're trying to talk, forget about it. They will not hear you over the wind sound. And it's not enjoyable for the watchers to hear the high wind sound. And I mean, in the Rode mic and the wind adapter are actually not too bad. You can get them on Amazon. And then just kind of when I'm inside, I use some just basic earbuds with a microphone. So that way I can, depending on what's, whether music's playing inside or anything like that, my voice can still be heard.
So now, when you're on the ships, and you've been live streaming, what's something that you got to live stream yourself that has been like that you thought was like really cool, or something that like maybe a lot of other people in RC Periscopers said, "Wow, that was the coolest thing we've ever seen live streamed from the ships."
Oh, wow. That's a hard one. I mean, I guess for me, when I was on Allure of the Seas, and, it was my first taste of Oasis class ship, and, being able to kind of live stream, like the outdoor aqua show, which you're not technically supposed to do that. So I only did like a tippet because there's, copyright things that come into play. You are not supposed to do that. You did not hear that from me. But it's something that you normally don't get to see. When I was on Allure of the Seas with Periscope, I was new. And I picked up 5,000 followers when I was on that cruise. I have around 8,000 Periscope followers right now. But that particular cruise, I picked up 5,000 followers. Apparently, I was trending at one point, and that's why I picked up so many. I didn't know that at the time. So it was really, really cool.
That must have been really exciting. But I mean, you didn't know that at the time. That must have been exciting when you finally were able to get to like somewhere where you actually finally found out that, wow, I hit 5,000 views on this one.
Well, because I was new to Periscope, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I've got someone following me like every 2 seconds. And it was like, bam, 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 bam. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah, I can imagine that being a little bit of a shock, but in a good way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so now,
definitely.
Like you said, you've gained a large following on Facebook. You've hit over 21. Well, you're at 2,100 2,100 members now in RC Periscopers. In the year's time, you've gained quite a good following. Now, do you ever watch what other people are streaming on the ships? You must at some point, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. My thing is, if because I have a part-time job. I used to work from home, so I had more time on my hands. But now I actually have a part-time job. Whenever one of my cruise periscopers is live streaming and I happen to be off, I always make sure to share that. Because and a lot of people, will depend on me to share them. Because I have a monthly cruise periscope list that I keep at the top of the page. And I do want to make one thing clear. It is not just the Royal Caribbean ships that have our cruise periscopers. It is Norwegian and Carnival. I will be posting August's Periscope list tomorrow, and it has not only Royal Caribbean, it has a Carnival, it has a Princess, it has some Norwegian cruises on there. So I started it off as Royal Caribbean Periscopers, but it has grown to, I'm not going to be biased for someone sharing their live streaming from another cruise line, because it's great to see different perspectives of the different cruise lines. So I always welcome anybody that wants to live stream from any cruise line. So I'm happy and with welcome arms, happy to take them.
Wonderful. Now, seeing that you watch the other periscopers, what they're broadcasting from the ships regularly, what's something that you've seen somebody else broadcast from the ships that you thought was pretty awesome, like that you thought was absolutely amazing?
Oh wow, there's just so many. Gosh, that's a hard one. Just because there's so many. I think one time and I forgot what periscoper it was, but it was on Anthem of the Seas, and it was a cover band, and this live cover band music was so awesome. And they played, it was 80s music, and I can't remember which periscoper it was, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is the, shiznits. But, yeah, so I think the live music is wonderful, being able to see that, because there's just amazing talent on all of the cruise ships, and being able to see that live is just really awesome.
So now we have another question that came in from Anthony on YouTube. He wants to know, what was the worst experience that you've ever had? What was the worst ship that you've ever broadcasted on?
Oh gosh. I don't know if, like, with the, because I haven't been periscoping very long. I was periscoping, I've only been periscoping for about a year. So it's really hard for me to say that there was a bad ship. There's been ships where, I get frustrated when I'm not able to periscope because of the connectivity with Periscope. And, a lot of people that know me know I'm not a big fan of Facebook Live. So in the past, I've kind of refused to live stream with Facebook Live. If I can't Periscope, I'm just not doing anything. But I've kind of changed that view because, like I said, I would much rather, have something than nothing. But, gosh, it's hard. Let's see, Allure, Majesty, because all of the ships that I've been on, Empress, I went to Cuba recently. I went to Havana, Cuba. I went on Empress of the Seas. It was a 5-day. We went to Cosmo, Mexico, Havana, Cuba, and Key West. And I know, I wouldn't say it was a bad cruise, but there was definitely some connect issues. And so, that's the only thing I would have to say.
Right, and technical issues are definitely, like, they can definitely come across as a problem. Yeah, they can definitely come across as a major problem when you're we've definitely had that issue here as well. So now we have another question come in, and it looks like there might be a slight typo on it, but okay. So it says I think it says drunk, but I think it's meant drunk. I heard about drunk scopes. Explain these, and do they involve the inside scope from the brig?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So my only input on that would be the Super Bowl cruise on Majesty of the Seas. I can either admit or deny there might have been some drunk scopes from that cruise. So it's just wow. You just get a little bit more of a look into someone's lively personality, and they may say things that they wouldn't say in the normal day. So,
wow. I can,
but they're definitely fun to watch. I highly recommend, if you happen to be lucky enough to catch one, to definitely tune in.
Are they ever recorded, and if so, are they still available?
Oh yes. Oh yes, most definitely. Oh yes, most definitely. Unless the periscoper has the option to delete their periscopes, which some of them have done. They have gone back, they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe I live streamed that. So they've actually deleted them. We've had drunk scopes, and then there's every once in a while pocket scopes, where you accidentally hit live and the phone is in your pocket and you get to hear voices, but you don't see anything. So those usually, I actually did, I did one of those. I was in West Palm Beach and I was live streaming. We were out on a boat and I actually live streamed, and I thought I ended it, but I didn't. And my phone was in my purse, and I actually ended up deleting it. There was nothing bad, but I was just kind of like, oh, I don't know. No.
And all the people watching our show right now who have had those like moments where they've drunk texted their exes and they're thinking, I wish I could do that. I wish I could delete. I'm sure that's going.
Yeah.
Sharice Colley actually sent in a comment. She said, "What's wrong?" She said, "What's wrong with that? It happens, and remember, you'll never ever see these people again. Party till you drop."
Oh, but see, that's the thing. You will see these people
Oh,
again
it's not
because
true. I'm
that's the
sorry. It says
thing.
it's not true that you'll never see these people again. My mistake. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
right. Yeah, because you will see these people if you happen to be lucky enough. Because I would love to meet as many of my Royal Caribbean Periscope members as I can. I have, of course, the Enchantment Cruise, where a lot of people that were on the Majesty Cruise last year will be going on this one, plus some people that weren't on it. So I'll get to meet some people for the very first time. And then I have a 7-day cruise on Oasis of the Seas on July the 1st, 2018. And that is a group cruise. It's called, Come Cruise with Cruising Cat. Unfortunately, Ken Jarvis is not able to go on that one because he has plans elsewhere. But I'm hoping to, get some interest for that because it's a little bit longer, of a cruise. With the 3-day, a lot of my periscopers, they're all over the world. And so it's hard to justify traveling a really long way for just a 3-day cruise. So that's why I created the 7-day.
So now we have another question coming in from Razor Ray. He wants to know the story of the scopes behind the from the floating bar.
Scope. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that one.
Well, if it's just he was just asking about the scopes from the floating bar. But if you're not familiar with that one, we can skip that question for now. And I'll apologize to Razor Ray for.
I might have missed that one.
I'll apologize to Razor Ray. Sorry we couldn't answer that question for you. But it's getting getting kind of late, but we'll have a few more questions before we wrap it up. Now, do you ever have is there a favorite? Do you prefer Eastern, Western Caribbean to go sailing on? Is there a favorite cruise that you like to a favorite trip that you like to stream from?
As far as because I've only cruised in the Caribbean for the most part. I haven't done an Alaskan cruise yet. That's on my bucket list. Obviously, and doing a back-to-back cruise is also on my bucket list. But with what I have cruised so far as Eastern and Western Caribbean, the Eastern is my more favorite right now. So, I like St. Martin is my favorite cruise port. So that's on the Eastern Caribbean. So I would have to say Eastern Caribbean.
It's Eastern Caribbean's good for me too. There's some ports that I like on the Western, but that was one of my own questions. We had a question that came in from earlier. This one was from Ron Hiller, but I was saving it for towards the end because it was something that I wanted people to remember. I feel like other people would have this question as well. How does one go about joining the Periscopers group? Direct from you.
So. On Facebook, the name of the group is called Royal Caribbean Periscopers. You can either type in the search bar, Royal Caribbean Periscopers, or we have a direct link, which is rcperiscopers.live. That will take you directly to our Facebook group, right there. So, I made it easy for my scopers, because that's the thing. I have wonderful members. Not only do they, scope take the time to share their cruise vacation, they also make sure to let other people know that may not know about our group, because it's a mission of mine. It's a pretty tall mission, but to have a periscoper on every single cruise ship all over the world. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but a girl can dream, right?
Yeah, that's true. Kat, it's about getting close to time to wrap the interview up, but I want to thank you so much for joining us today and for always helping out in the Periscope chat room and keeping order over there. But before we go, I know you want to. We have the Periscoper of the Week announcement.
Yes.
Yeah, the Periscoper of the Week announcement that I know you wanted to announce on tonight's show. So if you want to go ahead and announce that for us.
So one of the things that I like to do with our group is I like to recognize our members for taking the time to share their cruise vacation. So we have awards that we give. We give Periscoper of the Week. We have a Periscoper of the Month. And we also have a Periscoper of the Year, which Mr. Michael Poole happened to snag that for last year. He was our 2016 Periscoper of the Year. So basically, Ken and I will watch the periscopes, and we will kind of pay attention to who's scoping and, making sure to share the group. And I mean, it's not just what they're scoping, but it's also, what they're scoping, and also making sure to share our group as well, because, it helps us grow. So that kind of comes into play as well. And a lot of the members will put hashtag RC Periscopers at the end of their title to kind of bring attention to our group. So there was a cruiser that was on one of the bigger ships this week, and let me know when I can. Are you guys sure going to put it up?
Whenever you're ready, we're ready. We're ready for you to make the announcement.
Well, this periscoper did a really great job. He was on a bigger Royal Caribbean ship, and he always made sure to put our hashtag RC Periscopers. And without further ado, our RC Periscoper of the Week is Cruising Greg. So Cruising Greg is on Allure of the Seas, and he is actually on his last night. It was a 7-day cruise, and he has been showing us so many things from his cruise and taking the time to share his cruise vacation with all of us.
Well, congratulations to Cruisin' Greg.
Yes.
Very, very, very big congratulations to you. And Cruisin' Cat, one more time before we let you go, how can cruisers join RC Periscopers? How can they reach you?
rcperiscopers.live, or they can type in Royal Caribbean Periscopers in the search bar on Facebook.
Well, Cruisin' Cat, it was a pleasure having you on tonight's show. Thank you so much for joining us. This was like probably one of my favorite interviews ever. So thank you so much for being on tonight's show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll catch you later, Cruisin' Cat. Thank you. So we thought, since the founder of RC Periscopers was going to be on our show tonight, our photo of the week should come from that very same Facebook group. And this photo is from Dana McMahon. I hope I pronounced that name right. And I thought this was definitely the best one. It's really cute photo. Honestly, I think the kid should be looking out the window though, instead of looking at the photographer. But the person in the photo, his name is Robert Helbig, and he's enjoying a fun ride in the North Star, if I'm correct. But it's honestly, it's a great view. It's just he looks like he's more interested in looking at the photographer's camera than he is at out the window. So anyway, thanks so much to everyone who submitted photos this week. We really love looking through the photos and getting jealous of all the fun vacation pics that you guys are posting. And next week we're going to be picking another Facebook group, and we're going to ask them for their best cruise photo. So I want to talk a little bit about our Cruise Week Inner Circle, and thanks to those that have already joined it, by the way, by supporting the show financially. You guys can go to cruiseweek.tv/support and donate as little as $5 a month in our patrons section, and that helps keep our shows coming to you each week, and also enables us to produce these videos and interviews from the ships. Being an Inner Circle member, you'll also get some super cool things like exclusive Inner Circle only live videos and upcoming and future cruises, exclusive photos, and early looks into what's coming up on the show. We thank everyone so much for their support. It really means a lot to us on the show that you guys support our shows and you support us in this way. So if you want to show your support of cruiseweek.tv, our merch store is also now open. You can get cups, shirts, hats, much, much more. Just head over to cruiseweek.tv/merch to check out our offerings over there. So once again, our producer Bird has somehow managed to snag another cruise, but don't worry, we got our revenge. We've loaded him with a bunch of cameras and scheduled him a ton of interviews to get while he's on the ship. And see, no good cruise is going to go unpunished. Bird he's got a hold of copies of the Daily Cruise Compass, which is the layout of what happens on the cruise each day. He's also been poring over it and planning what events he's going to go broadcast. Some of the great things coming up are going to be like the sail away events on the first day, the game show at 11 p.m. on Friday, the 70s Disco Inferno at 10 p.m. on Thursday, Battle of the Sexes game show at 10:45 on Wednesday, and the Party in the Balloon Drop on Tuesday at 9:30 p.m., just to name a few things. Of course, he's also going to be doing some crew interviews and port interviews as well. We're going to have a new balcony camera with views of the inside of the ship, and you'll be able to move that camera around and check out those sites and what fun's going on in Central Park. Ship tours, Captain's QAA, and of course the live Cruise Week show on that Saturday from the Royal Promenade at 8 p.m. Have I covered everything, Bird?
Yep, pretty much. It's going to be, by the way, this lady over here, sitting here, is Joe's mom. She's sitting in tonight. So, but yeah, it's going to be really great. And thanks to Ken Jarvis for actually providing me the cruise compasses early. That was great. That meant we could actually go through, see exactly what the shows are, see what all the stuff is that you normally don't see until you're on the ship. So I can plan ahead, and we've actually made a calendar. So you can go onto our site, and under Watch Live, you can actually see everything laid out about what we're going to live periscope, and live broadcasts, and the times.
So now, do you feel like you might be a little overwhelmed on this upcoming cruise, Bird? Because I see we've got like a very busy schedule for you that week.
Oh, I know. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I was looking through the calendar today, and I'm like, wow. Even on the ports, Deb, who is one of our sales teams, she's been like calling me. She's like, "Oh, can you squeeze this tour in? Can you squeeze that in? Could you do this?" I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm on this island. I don't know how far away they are. So, obviously, we're going to do things like the tour of the ship. We're going to come on. They do a tour for first-time cruisers. We're going to join that. So you'll get that tour live, and you'll be able to ask questions. Captain's Q&A, of course the Quest show, which I did last time I was on the Oasis, and that was phenomenal. That is something not to miss, definitely.
It's one of my favorite things to do on a Royal Caribbean ship. So I'm glad you'll be catching that. So now you don't know for sure what kind of fun things you're going to be doing in the ports.
No, I know there's a couple of tours that we've got. St. Martin, we've got a 4-hour tour, and we're going to be live streaming from that. And there's a butterfly tour before that, as long as we can squeeze everything in, because we only have so many hours. And then we've got San Juan. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff there, and then of course Labadee, Haiti. So we've got 3 actual ports, and then a lot of stuff on the ship. The first time I went on Oasis, it was almost like going to Disney World. You cannot, in a 7-day period, do everything that the ship offers. So you've got to come back multiple times just to do all the exciting attractions and stuff that is on the ship. They even have an ice rink.
Wow, I've not seen a ship with an ice rink yet. I guess I haven't had that much. Like I haven't had enough cruise experience to see one. But so now all the different ports that you're doing, do you think you might have some footage from some of the ports for the show that Saturday night?
That's what I intend to try and do. Our show on Saturday night should be, as long as there's power available, right on the Royal Promenade, and I hope to have a guest or two. It's going to be unique because I'm going to be on the ship, but I'm still going to be controlling the whole show. So basically what I'm going to be doing for this time is this producer console comes with me to the ship. So you're still going to be here in the studio. I'm going to be on the ship controlling the whole show and have guests. So if we can pull it off, it's going to be great. Yeah. Luckily, Oasis has one of the best Wi-Fi's that I've seen so far. So should be able to manage it.
You just had to remind me once again that you're going to be on the ship and I'm going to be here, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so mean. One of these days I will be.
Take him on with you.
You know, she hasn't. The poor lady, she has not even been on a cruise yet, and I've been in 7 without.
How can you do that? You've been on
It's
7
not.
cruises
Hey,
now.
you know. Okay, I don't. We don't live together, okay? I moved out like 6 years ago or something. I don't. Oh gosh. But okay, maybe one of these days I'll get her a cruise for her birthday or something. But
Yeah, you should.
anyway, yeah. Well,
But it's going to be a really good time. I'm going to do a lot of scopes, a lot of live stuff. And the good thing is that putting that calendar up, people can see what we're going to be broadcasting, what time, and where on the ship as well. So if there's something you're particularly interested in, you can look down the calendar and say, oh yeah, I want to watch that. Or if there's something that you want us to cover, drop us an email or a message on Facebook, and we'll try and incorporate that. The first 2 days are sea days, so I do have some gaps in there. So if anybody wants to come up with ideas or suggestions, feel free. Luckily, we do have a good relationship with Royal Caribbean as well, so we'll be, like Kat says, she can't broadcast some of the shows. We have a little bit more leeway to broadcast some of those. We will not be able to broadcast Kat, however, I'm working on getting an interview with the cast of them while I'm there. I didn't manage last time. That's one of my goals for this time.
Well, Zach, I'm sure, we're all, I know I'm looking forward to seeing you live stream. I'm going to be hosting that week. So I'm looking forward to seeing whoever you have lined up for me as a guest. That's going to be quite exciting. I'm very much looking forward to that. And even though I'm a little bit jealous you're going on this one without us, I'm looking forward to seeing the footage.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm taking a lot of different cameras. So we've got our drone. So we'll be getting some nice aerial shots. Not on the ship, of course, but on the ports we'll be doing that. We've got our 360-degree camera. So I'm kind of keeping that for the parade. I think that's like one of the last days. But there's a parade that goes right down on the Royal Promenade, and I want to try and catch that as they come around the camera. You're going to be able to look around and follow people. We got, of course, a balcony camera, so that should be good. So a lot of new technology that people haven't used before. So we're going to try and knock it out of the ballpark this time.
How many bags have you got packed?
How many bags am I going to have? I think I could end up with 4 big bags. Yeah, and maybe only a quarter of it is clothes.
Only 4? I thought I gave you enough stuff for 10. What happened?
I'm sending that ahead.
Of course you are.
So, yeah, that should be great. So that is coming up on August the 13th. So about 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. Starts off on a Sunday, so I'll have to get up really early. Head over from Tampa, we're on one side, got to go all the way through Orlando, and then all the way over to Port Canaveral.
Wonderful. Well, we'll see. We'll see you again from, I guess, the ships. It'll be so. I'll be so jealous. I'm so jealous already. Oh, I need to go on one of these cruises that all of you guys are going on. So, anyway, time to wrap up tonight, getting close to wrap up tonight's show. But before we do wrap up tonight's show, I want to tell you guys that this show and all the wonderful abilities that we have to bring in guests remotely wouldn't be possible at the level that we do it without vMix. You know, vMix is the live production software that powers our live show and many, many other high-end productions, from church services to football games. More and more live productions are running on vMix. And what our producer Bird really liked when he was trying to improve our show was that they give you a full 60-day trial of everything. That way, you can test it out risk-free before you buy for a full 2 months. And then they have systems starting from just $350. So if you're going to do any sort of serious live streaming, you need vMix. Try it at vmix.com today. And that gets to the point where our show's going to wrap up. First of all, I really want to thank Cruising Cat from RC Periscopers Group for not only being a wonderful interviewee today, but also for helping us out in the Periscope chat room over there. If you guys want to see a lot of live streams from people on ships, head on over to RC Periscopers Group on Facebook for a list. And if you guys know someone who's going to enjoy watching the show as much as you, who has a passion for cruising like you do, be nice and share this link on their Facebook wall. That way they can enjoy too. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you're viewing us from YouTube. And we're going to see you guys in the future. Join us every Friday, or every Saturday night, rather, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, stay fun, cruisers.